Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. I just wanted to come here quickly and talk about what happens when an abuser shows up. What happens when an abuser resurfaces after some time, after years of no contact. And for the benefit of those who are new to this page and who are seeing me for the first time, my name is Toko and I am a transformation coach. I provide tailor-made mindset coaching to women on women empowerment, trauma healing, and abuse recovery. So, most welcome. Our topic today is specifically something that recently happened to me, and when I come here and share things, I share my journey, and I'm not afraid to put myself out there because I know that when I share my lessons, my journey, and my story, I'm giving another woman, the power to speak up. Because when you are a woman and you've been through an abusive relationship trauma, and it can be really hard to stand up and speak about your experience. It takes time for you to begin to share your story with the world because you are afraid, you are ashamed, and there's all these emotions going on. So for me, I believe that when I come here and share my stories and my experiences, I'm giving another woman the permission to say, yes, sister, you're not alone. But also I'm giving them the validation that their story is real. Because sometimes the things that we experience in these abusive relationships are unbelievable, are out of this world. So here's what happened to me recently. Me and my ex, we divorced. It's been 4 years now. And all this time there was quietness, silence. I didn't hear from him since the day he left the house. Right? And we processed divorce in absentia, and that's a story for another day. But 2 days ago, something happened. He sent me a package. Okay, so this was a big envelope, like a courier, those post office big large envelopes where you post something like a parcel to somebody. And my daughter got the parcel, and when it arrived, I was in the bedroom when my daughter calls me and she's like, "Mom, there is a parcel here." And I was like, "I didn't order anything. What's going on?" And then I came out to look at the parcel, and immediately I saw it. Immediately I saw the name, my name on the envelope. I knew exactly where it had come from. But that got me scared. Because I was like, what is he up to? Like, what does he want? And why is he sending things to me after 4 good years? I'm talking about 4 years and some months, okay? And this is a lesson for each one of you under the sound of my voice today, that one thing that you have to know is that abusers, they don't completely go away. They don't completely go away. They hover around. They will stalk you. They will come in disguise. They will do all sorts of things just to track where you're going, what you're doing in your life, and what's happening to you, because they still have an interest in you. The only time an abuser would completely go away is when he feels satisfied that he won. Because for them, everything that happens in their life is about power and control. And so if they feel powerful, if they feel like they're in control, and they're really satisfied that whatever they did to you, you're done, you're finished, they're done with you. They will go, and they will go, be assured they will go completely and forever. Or that's the first scenario. The second scenario an abuser would completely go away is when they get married or they get settled with another person, and they are completely satisfied with that person, which doesn't happen often. Because abusers are users. They just want to use people, and they don't get satisfied by doing that. It's like they're trying to feel something within them that can't be filled by what they're doing. They go on destroying people, using people, abusing people, and doing all sorts of things, but they don't get satisfied. So even though they move on to another person, they're not really satisfied because they don't know what they're looking for, because they are not normal, they are not okay, right? So those are the two scenarios when an abuser would completely go away. Other than that, an abuser will keep hovering around your life. They will keep snooping into your life and trying to see what you're up to. And for me, that has happened quite often. And because I know like my security system is high, I move around and I'm so much alert of my surroundings and whatever is going on in my life. I'm very, very much aware of that. So I know that, they created, they will create fake Facebook accounts, and they will try to send you friends requests and do all sorts of things. They will stalk you on social media. They will use other people to get information from you, and they'll do all sorts of things. And that's typical of an abuser. Okay, they don't completely go away. So here is the story. When we had divorced and separated, whatever, I still continued to live in the house that we used to live together. And that is something that I know I shouldn't have done. But because I had a circumstance that made me not to move out of the place where I used to stay with them. But all the time when I'm working with women, I encourage them that once you have filed divorce and everything is done, you have to move, find another place. It's just a security measure. For me, what I did was to strengthen this, to tighten the security around my house. My house has got high level of security, and other than that, I had to inform my neighbors. I had to let the school where my daughter goes to, I had to alert the police. The police knows that I'm on high alert, because if anything happens to me and my daughter, at least I report it somewhere. And I tried to to do all sorts of things around my house just to make sure that security is tight. But here is the thing. When an abuser does that, when they resurface after some time, which they do, I'm grateful that this time, for me, it's taken 4 years for them to come back. But I was waiting for this moment because I knew that one day they will resurface, because every abuser does that. Trust me, everyone, they do that. If they don't get to know you, what's going on in your life through child custody or through child care issues, they will find another way to get to know what's going on in your life. And so if an abuser does that to you, here is what you need to do, or what you need to know. First thing is that they will resurface like that not because they are trying to be nice. Okay, so when the envelope arrived, the parcel arrived, and I saw it and I knew that it was from him, there's a couple of things that came to my mind. The first thing was that is a security breach. Okay, I knew for sure, because for me, I know that it's his way of trying to establish if I'm still on the same address. Because if he doesn't get a return, which means that I got the parcel, I received it, which is a confirmation that I am still on the same address. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. When they're doing that, it's not in good faith. Okay, so for me, I know that it's not in good faith. He is trying to establish if I'm still on the same address. And so what I did was to tighten my security even more, to report to the authorities that he contacted me, so that at least I have that record somewhere. Okay, I had to tell people around me to know that if they see something, going on, or if they hear things, they need to know what is going on. I alerted the people around me, my friends, the people that I talk to around my neighborhood, so that they are aware. My landlord, I let them know so that they are aware. Okay. The second thought that I had was, I was just so suspicious, because before I opened it, and I'm like, what's like, what could that be? And I was like, is something gonna explode? Is there a bomb? Is there, like, what is there? So I had to wear my gloves, because COVID, you never know. Like, you never know, maybe he sent me COVID. So I had to wear my gloves, put my mask, and the first thing that I did, I dropped the parcel down. Like, I just dropped it down, just to make sure that if there's something that is explosive, let it explode somewhere there. I'm crazy like that, but it's for my safety, right? And I opened the parcel, and guess what I found? My old pictures that he had taken when he left, and my certificates. So my certificates, my professional certificates, and all those other things, like my birth certificates. He had my birth certificate, okay, our marriage certificate, and all those other things that he had collected, he had taken away from me, thinking that maybe my life will stop or come to a standstill by taking away all those identification things and important documents that I needed in my life. So he returned those. And here's the thing, that what that means really is that he's trying to kind of like put a gesture to say, I'm a nice guy, I'm not as bad as you think, here are your stuff, I'm returning them, they're intact, I haven't destroyed anything, and so I'm a good guy. But that's a lie. Don't ever buy into that. Don't ever buy into that. They have a hidden agenda going on. He's up to something, because he wants me to soften up and send a text, or send an email, or make a phone call, or I don't know, write a letter and say, oh, thank you so much, I really needed this. Like, abusers want to see you in a desperate situation, and they want to pretend as this, knight in shining armor, and like a rescuer, like a savior, like this nice person, like a problem solver, because that's how they hook you up. That's how they hook you up. That's how they get you hooked to their cycle of abuse, and then they'll put you up, they'll lift you up, and then they will drop you down. They'll lift you up and they will drop you down. That's how abusers operate. And so in his mind, he's like, okay, after 4 years, he hasn't seen these things, he hasn't used this, she hasn't used these things, and maybe she had forgotten about them, or maybe she had given up on them, that maybe I'll never return them. Let me return them so that I prove to her that, I'm not as bad as she thinks. I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I've changed, blah, blah, blah. And I just want you to be aware of that's how abusers, in fact, in most instances, they'll go beyond that. And that is just like, their first level of action. I know that he's not yet done. Once he established, after some time, once he establishes that I received the parcel, he did not get a return, I know he has a tracking number, he knows that now the parcel was delivered, because it was like a courier. He knows that the parcel was delivered, it was received here. That's a confirmation for him that I'm still on the same address, right? And so that I need to be aware that my security is somehow, weak, and I have to be aware of that, and I have to tighten my security. Okay. And in some circumstances, actually, they will go ahead and send you flowers on your birthday. They'll do all these, nice gestures just to prove to you that, I want to come back. It's a message. I want to come back. I'm a changed person. I can do this and that. They want to prove to you a point. And sometimes also it's a question of, like, for him, I know that when he sent those pictures, it could be that he was like reminding me, because he knows I'm here on Facebook, right? He knows what I'm doing. He knows, like, he sees me, maybe, I don't know. But it's like a reminder to me to say, silly, like, what do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You used to be this, like reminding you of your past. And all abusers are like that. They'll bring back the past that you never that you're trying to get over. They just want to remind you of that pain. They just want to remind you of the things that you're trying to overcome. They'll bring up issues from your past that you're trying to get over, to overcome and forget and move past them, just because they are abusers. And so what do you do when these things happen? Tighten your security, okay? Strengthen your boundaries. For me, I know that my issue is where I live. And if all things were equal or okay, normally I advise that change your address. Okay, change your address. Make sure that you tighten your security. Make sure that you strengthen, you raise the bar in terms of your boundaries, and stick with them. Don't respond to them. They will try to text you. Sometimes they will try to use another number if you block them to call you. They will use a third person to contact you, just because they feel like you're winning. They feel like she shouldn't be on her feet. She shouldn't be doing what she's doing. She shouldn't be that which she is today. She shouldn't be doing that. She shouldn't be talking about that. She should have been defeated. She should have been in a mental institution. She should have been home and defeated and, done. But because you're rising up and you're showing up in life and you're progressing, and they can see that, or they can tell that through stalking you, it pains them. They start to feel like they didn't achieve their mission. So they want to come back so that they can do more damage to your life and destroy you even more. So when that happens, don't respond to anything. Don't even try. They are so cunning, and they are so pushy. They will push your boundaries, and they will insist on trying to get hold of you. Don't buy into their temptation. It doesn't matter how nice it looks. It doesn't matter how sincere it looks. It doesn't matter how cute it looks. Don't buy into that. Never buy into that. Stick with your boundaries and strengthen your security, and make sure that you're on guard. You are on guard, because when they do that, you have to know that they're up to no good. So, well, I hope this helps you. I hope this teaches you a lesson. I hope you picked something out of that. Please do me a favor, share this video with a woman whom you know is going through abuse right now, or is just coming out of an abusive relationship. And if you are a woman who is experiencing abuse in your life, or you've just come out of an abusive relationship and you're trying to heal and rebuild your life and overcome the trauma, the violence, and everything that happened in the past, join us in the tribe. I will put a link down there. We have over 350 women from across the globe, and we share. It's a safe space. It's a sisterhood, and we connect deeply on issues that matter, and we try to help each other and support each other and lift each other up and validate each other, and help each other grow and glow. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Have a great day wherever you are. Mwah.